What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're reacting to the 5th episode of Koikimo. This one's titled Pilgrimage. No idea why it's called Pilgrimage, although the very opening scene is at an airport, with I assume Fuji in the background, so I guess we're going on a trip of some description. I don't know, that's where I'm guessing where we're going, but beyond Pilgrimage I have no idea what we're going to be doing. This show, man, somehow is managing to be somewhat wholesome. Like, I know this show will always have its attractions of, like, ew, real, creepy, and yes, kind of, yes, I acknowledge that, but at the same time, the way they're portraying it is a lot more wholesome. There are times where it kind of goes a bit far, but it's riding that line, I think, very, very well, especially considering how anime can be with certain main protagonists. I think they're riding the line perfectly fine at the moment, and it's actually quite wholesome, funny, bop of an OP. It's just got a lot going for it that I didn't expect going in. But still, I'm very much enjoying it. Last time out, we had our Christmassy episode, so we had presents given to each other, which was quite nice. Each girl was very, very happy with her one, the limited edition thing, which probably cost a lot of money, but, like, Rio cares. And they both went to the sister, Rio, in order to find out what they each wanted, which was just, yeah. As soon as she asked Rio for what to get Rio, I thought Rio's absolutely going to ask her for Ichika as well, so it was just kind of nice that they both had that thing, and then they both got her present as well, sumo-related, obviously, because she's really into sumo guys, apparently. Who would have known? But, yeah, the entire friend group's a little weird like that. I forget the names of the two other friends, but the one in glasses, yeah, she's really into older gentlemen, and then I forget who the other one was into. I think like the rich boy type, I think, but I can't remember. So someone like Rio, basically, and then Ichika's complete opposite, which means Tamara is kind of like that, but yeah, so we've got a bit of a love triangle going on there, essentially, since we've got Tamara also somewhat interested. She doesn't seem too interested in him just yet, and she is warming up to Rio a bit as time goes on as well, so who knows where it goes. But this is a finished project. It finished in April 2nd. I don't know if they ever committed to making a relationship in the manga. I don't want to know either, just for spoiler purposes. I don't know how much of this... I don't know how much of the manga this is going to be adapting, because it was, how many chapters? 57 chapters over 8 volumes. I don't think a 12 episodes anime can cover that. Maybe there'll be an OVA right at the end to, like, wrap it up, maybe, but even then I think that's pushing it. Because looking at World Trigger was doing, like, two chapters per episode, so I'm expecting about two per chapter, and that's only 24, so we'd be about halfway through it at that rate, but Horimiya finished everything off in one go, so you never know, I suppose. But yeah, Pilgrimage, looks like we're going on a trip somewhere. I don't quite know where, but I guess we'll find out. It's still winter, so not many options really for travel, I would have thought. That are still quite warm, so I guess we'll see, but yeah. As per usual, these are time-based format reactions here on YouTube. If you want to see the full picture in picture, go to my Patreon down in the description below. £4 a month gets you access to all picture in picture reactions I do on the channel, which is everything from the current seasonal lineup, as well as Patreon request shows such as World Trigger, Symphogeji, and Log Horizon, of which we're finishing this week, and then moving on to Season 2 next week. We also have movie reactions with Weathering Review the movie just being posted yesterday, so go check that out. The Patreon picture-in-picture version is also available, although it's on Mega.nz instead of Pixel Drain, just because of issues with Pixel Drain right now. So go check that one out as well, and don't forget, on the 1st of the month, for the first week of the month, we'll be doing a poll for what the next movie will be. I'll announce on Discord as well when that is, and I'll actually probably post a video on the channel here to remind people as well, just so we can just get a bit more drive on it. You have to be Patreon member to vote, but I can still raise awareness and say, hey, this is an extra incentive. If you come join the Patreon, you can vote on one of these movies that I watched the month. So, but here on YouTube, you have to time-based. So bottom left of the screen, you'll see a time for the episode. Countdown 3, 2, 1, play. Play start the episode, I start the episode, and we should be in sync. We are watching this one on Crunchyroll, since they're the ones who licensed it. It's a very Crunchyroll heavy day today. In fact, all 5 shows we're watching are on Crunchyroll, which is kind of nice. But no logos or anything. You can use screen flash on my face, the mic, or this part of my headset to tell when the scenes are transitioning. That should help you sync it up. And with all that said, let's get into this week's episode, shall we? In 3, 2, 1, play. At the airport. Photographers. Hey, Master! Okay. Gotta love his OP. We got some really good songs this season. We always get a couple every time, don't we? Such a bop, I love it. It's this, everybody, Nine from Shadow's House. For some really good songs. I need to find the full version of this as well. Also, I forget the name of it, but Drango's House Hunting's OP. Top notch as well. Alright. So 5, Pilgrimage. We on the beach? In the winter? Uh... I'm sure Rio pulled the strings. Okay. Thank God. Yep. Mm-hmm. He does seem like the type, doesn't he? Mm-hmm. Hmm. Uh... Well, that to be his judgmental ass. He's knowledgeable. You only watched it to have a conversation with Ichiko about it, right? That's how it starts. Yep. Ah, so this is foreshadowing. It's interesting how anime and like manga and stuff is still considered that way in Japanese society. It's interesting how that still has like social status as like lower. Mm-hmm. That is definitely true. I wonder if there will be a time where, like, I feel like anime's mainstream now, but at the same time, I wonder if Japanese perception on that will ever shift. I wonder if that's a metaphor for. Yep. Oof. Why would you know that? Mm-hmm. uh, not just his normal state. Makes sense. Ooh. Still haven't been to an aquarium in like years. You almost went for it. Wow. Yep. Yes. Master's picking up on all the little cues. Okay, that is quite adorable. I wonder who it is. Yep. uh. Mm-hmm. Nope. Smooth, sure. Well, that's a misunderstanding. I mean, it's just a teaspoon. Mm-hmm. That should be okay. Mm-hmm. Muppet. Muppet. Mm-hmm. Hmm. What's our response going to be, I wonder? Yeah, I didn't think it would go through. Comparing anime locations to real life. They are really faithful to that stuff. Like, even in shows where that's not a priority, they'll be very faithful to real locations. Then you get shows like Eurocamp, which are obviously very, very faithful, because that's the intent. Hmm. This is what I mean by pilgrimage, okay? Ah, okay. I bet, yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Tokyo Masada? Uh... Yes, definitely. Ah. Hmm. Hmm. Definitely true. Hey, cinema. Unfortunately, no. Grabbed again. Wow. uh. Hmm. You rang. Likely, yes. But she wants to know. Another time, my dude. Mm-hmm. Yes. So on caramel, nice. Nice try, but not gonna work. Actually, do that? That's very clever. It's actually quite a clever idea. Although normally I'd have thought they'd have some form of temperature control in the theatre. I just don't know if any of our theatres do. Makes sense. Yes. But it's never been the same for him. Mm-hmm. Oh boy. Hmm. Hmm. Oh boy. Of course I would do this. Hmm. Hmm. Both a little bit troubled after that movie. Hmm. Okay. No after credits. Might have a. Well, we get next episode title, don't we? That's all we get. Next time. Unrequited love. Oh boy. Well. Already starting with that, huh? Already starting with that, I guess. That's not a good sign. Well, I guess it depends who it's focused on, right? But still. Um, this show is weird. Like, it really is weird how it just works. I can't explain why it works. I think the reason why it works, like, personally for me, the reason why I'm enjoying this so much is because it's nice to have a male lead that actually is willing to do things. Like, even to the point of, like, Tamara. Like, he's, even as an unconfident character, he's still more confident than a lot of other male leads. And he's, like, the rival character in the show. But he's still a bit more confident than the typical male protagonist. And then Ryo is, like, far more confident. Obviously, he's a grown man. Like, he kind of knows what's up. He's not, whilst he is experiencing a more first love type thing, and his emotions are very much leading him. He still has enough rational thoughts because he's grown up. He knows what life is like, and he's got himself settled. He's not worrying about frivolous things. Like, when you're a high schooler, and when you're in your teens, every little thing that could go wrong is the worst thing in the world to you and makes you want to give up. Like, your emotions are all over the place. You don't really have true perspective of the world. And it's just like, you get bothered by things that really don't matter. You worry about things that really have no consequence at the end. Like, you need to see the bigger picture. And because he is an adult, he knows the bigger picture, and therefore he can be more sure of himself. He can be more confident. And it just ends up being something so fresh in a romance-type show. And that's why I think he's so endearing, because he's a breath of fresh air in a show like this. Yes, it's still odd that it is an age gap between a high schooler and a grown man. But he's not trying to abuse his age over her. He's not really doing anything wrong, per se. I don't know the legality of these sorts of things in Japan. I don't know the legality of this in my own country, to be honest with you. A 27-year-old hitting on a 16, 17... How old is she? She's 17, right? Or is she 16? 17. A 27-year-old guy hitting on a 17-year-old girl in this country. What would happen? I'm UK, by the way. England, specifically. What would actually happen in that instance? I think it would be concerning for parents, maybe. But I don't know if legally anything wrong has transpired there. Because it's not like he's a teacher abusing like a power dynamic or anything. He's just a guy who's met her, they get along, and they talk a lot. He hasn't really crossed over any boundary. When she says stop, he stops. He's persistent, but he's not really overstretching. I don't really know. I think legally... I think it's more of a society issue than it is a legal issue. Like, legally, I don't think anything is wrong here, but in society, this is perceived as wrong, obviously. Just because we've been grown up and we're like... Age gaps aren't a problem. I think most of us agree that an age gap is not the problem. It's just because she's a high schooler. If she was a college student, like 19, 20 or something, and he was like 30s, and we did this exact same show again, no one, I think, would bat an eyelid because it'd be like, oh, she just likes older guys. But because she's in high school, I think that's the reason why. And you hear a lot of stories about high school girls and older guys taking advantage of and abusing in that sense. Like, we see a lot of that in media, right? So it's kind of skewed that this sort of thing happens. But I genuinely wonder how many times this situation happens and it goes perfectly fine and it works out for them, as opposed to the negative ones we hear about in press. Because we never hear about anything like normal. Like, the media doesn't report on the normal stuff because, well, there's too much of it and it doesn't attract views or anything. You want to hear about the cases where it goes bad and the things where crimes are committed and stuff like that. It's just how the news cycle works. Positive news stories don't tend to happen too often. Only when there's not enough bad stories do you start hearing the good stories. Realistically, that's kind of how the world works now. So, yeah, all I will say is that the characters are endearing enough, and because it's fiction, you can kind of separate yourself away from the real world a little bit. And like I said, Ryo is being as respectful as he can with the intentions he has. And it's up to Ichika, like, Ichika could absolutely slam him down and threaten him with, like, she has threatened him with police, but she doesn't follow through with any of it. But she has that power to do so. But she doesn't... She does kind of mind his attention, but also doesn't at the same time. She can't deny that she kind of enjoys his attention as well. So it's up to Ichika eventually to make the call of what actually happens. And that's what the show will ultimately boil down to. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening there. But yeah, I'm still very much enjoying it. And I'm excited to see what sort of conclusion they go for in this show. If they try and have an ending where they pair up, or any pairs starts, that would be interesting. If we get an OVA at the end to wrap that up, I don't know. Because, like I said, it's completed manga work. I don't know if they're adapting the full manga or not. So, that's going to do it for you guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one as per usual. Leave a like if you did, as well as your comments what you thought of the episode. Don't forget to subscribe as well to see next week's episode, as well as the rest of the Spring 2021 lineup you can find here on the channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, see you guys later.